Hey, Sooner football fans, this is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry and Caleb here, Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
And we are coming at you from the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma, where we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma, but we do have eligibility left. And just want to let everybody know Rob is on the sidelines tonight. If you notice, about every time towards about every 4 weeks, Rob is absent, primarily because of his job. You all know what he does, so I jokingly say that he is counting popcorn kernels, cubes of ice, and so on and so forth. But it's inventory time with the University of Oklahoma concession, so that's where Rob is at tonight. But you got me and Caleb here. We got a great podcast. We're going to be talking about the BIG12 championship game versus Baylor, college football playoff, rankings. What else are we going to talk about, Caleb?
The Big 12 awards.
Big 12 awards and anything else we can come up with. But before we get into that, we need to remind everybody to subscribe to this podcast with whatever you're listening to it on. If you're listening to it on iTunes, we ask that you give it a rating, give it a comment. That moves us up in the iTunes rankings. Also helps other Sooner fans who are looking for a great podcast to find us. But you can subscribe on Spotify, Google Play as well. The one cool thing about Spotify and Google Play was when we drop a new podcast, they will give you a little message that says, hey, there's a new episode of Sooner Football Fans Podcast.
Apple does it too.
Huh?
Apple does it too.
It does?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I have Apple, so yeah.
Well, okay. Well, see, there you go. That's another reason why you want to subscribe. That way you don't have to get caught up. You can listen to it when it comes out. Also, we want to ask everybody, if you would, while you're listening to it on your phone or wherever you listen to it, hit the share button. I know Spotify and Google Play, because when I'm sitting around listening to some of my favorite music and some of my favorite podcasts, sometimes I will share that episode on Facebook and or Twitter or both, just to tell everybody what I'm doing. And we ask that you do the same so your friends and colleagues, co-workers, family, dogs, cats, pets, fish can all listen to the podcast as well. But remember, Tailgate Connect, Dan Donnelly, who is our buddy from Southern California, Sooner fan. You've heard of Tailgate Connect. It is the best place to connect with the greatest tailgates in the country. College season is winding down, but guess what? Dan has landed some pro tailgates. So if you're out and about, you want to go tailgate at some of the best pro tailgates around the country on pro venues, find them on Tailgate Connect, www.tailgateconnect.com. Also, don't have anywhere to watch the Sooner game. You're out of town, or you always sit around with family and watch the game, or whatever the case may be. You want to be around a bunch of Sooner fans, then go to Team Bar Finder. Download their app from the Apple Store or on Google Play. Team Bar Finder will help you find the Sooner watch party at a bar, pub, favorite place in your area. So make sure and check them out. You can also go straight to teambarfinder.com, www.teambarfinder.com. Dave Lamb, who is a California Sooner as well and alumnus, has a great app to help you find the bars. If you want to add your favorite bar to it, you have a watch party there, you can put that bar on the app as well, www.teambarfinder.com, and go learn about football when you're done with that. Our buddy Jason Young, formerly with the Football Brainiacs, he still does work with them, but he has started his own site, trenchwarfarereport.com. Some of the best play analysis, not just, the running backs and the quarterback, or not all that stuff. It's the trenches. That's why it's called Trench Warfare. And JY has great commentary, simplistic, runs through, draws the plays out, lets you know exactly what's going on, and grades the Sooners out and other teams. He's also started a deal this week where he is grading and showing us films of recent recruits. Reggie Grimes, big defensive end linebacker type guy. Right now on Trench Warfare Report, he has some series on Reggie Grimes. So if you want to see what the new guy who's going to be signing with the Sooners this year is all about, www.trenchwarfarereport.com. Caleb, I want to say something that's going to make everybody mad.
Yeah.
If we don't beat Baylor, nothing else matters. Correct?
I believe so.
What is your confidence that we're going to beat Baylor?
I'm pretty confident.
Why?
I just think we're better than them. I don't know. I mean, they got lucky a lot in the first half. If we don't turn the ball over, we beat the crap out of them. It's not even a close game.
Well, yeah, to some extent.
I mean, in the second half, we didn't turn the ball over. Our O-line's more physical. Like, I mean, I think our defense is takes advantage too. It's just like, I mean, only thing that I think they might have advantage as the receiver's really good. But I think we should win. So we don't turn the ball over. Just like we should win.
Well, everybody is talking about, and we'll get into the college football playoff here in a little bit, but everybody is talking about why Oklahoma should be ahead of Utah at this point, how we're going to jump on, but nobody's talking about the Baylor game. And I just want everybody to remember Baylor, yeah, we turned the ball over, and some of that was Baylor's doing. Some of it was bad decisions on a quarterback and some other folks out there on the field. But everybody talked about Baylor when they played Texas. Is this going to be a letdown because, oh my gosh, the emotional loss and, the way Oklahoma came back. And what did they do? Thumped Texas 24-10 and then just mopped up Kansas 61-6.
I didn't think that, though, because Texas had probably just as bad as a loss as Baylor did the week before when they went off sides to give them the Iowa State the game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, their loss was just as embarrassing, as Baylor's was. So, I mean, then Texas knew their season was done. Baylor still had something to play for. So I thought Baylor was going to whoop Texas that week. And Baylor's a good team. I just think we're better than them. And I think if we just take care of the ball, we're better than them. And it's just how it is, I think.
CD Lamb will be in there.
CD Lamb will play this time, which makes a huge difference. He's probably our best player. I mean, so it's just – I think the O-line's actually better than they were the first time.
Yeah.
I think they gotten better. I think that game actually just kind of woke them up. So, I mean, it's just – I don't know. I'm just very confident in this game. I mean, one, it's just like it's Big 12 championship. We've been there 3 times in a row. This is the first time being there for them. And it's just like we know what's online. And so when we know something's online, it's when OU kind of shines a little bit, especially in the Big 12.
So last night when I left the Rudy's for the coaches show, which, by the way, if y'all haven't caught that, you need to catch it. Toby Rowland, T-Row, and Teddy Lehman's show, the Huddle first, and then the coaches show that had Benny Wiley. And Benny Wiley's a pretty funny guy, pretty cool guy too. Not as big as I thought, though.
Let me say that. I mean, like, was he wearing like tight shirts and something too, or
no? I mean, he's muscled, but but he's about maybe a little bit shorter than me.
Yeah, that's kind of normal.
Okay.
Most strength coaches aren't really that tall.
Well, I thought he was going to be like 6'3". But yeah, and I didn't know he was on a reality show. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, he won the one and only season of what was it called? Can't remember what it's called. It was NBC, and he didn't know he was competing in it. He thought he was, but it ended up he was training somebody, one of those training shows, and help somebody get their fitness in line, and he won it.
He didn't know the cameras were on him or anything either?
Yeah, he knew it, but he didn't know
what he was competing for. He thought it was just like a little like.
He thought he was just a trainer, and the people were competing, but they said no, you're competing as the trainer. He's like, oh.
They know it till the end.
No, he knew it when he got there. But he just thought he was a trainer. He didn't know he was in the competition as well, but had some pretty funny stories. And this is the thing, if you haven't watched it, go check it out on the Sooner Sports Network. But guess what? Lincoln Riley ran the 40 when he lined up at Texas Tech.
5.1.
4.64, I think you said.
4.64?
Yeah. Yeah. So he said he was fast. He was fairly agile. He was strong, but not Jalen Hurts strong. He wasn't squatting Volkswagens or anything like that. But anyway, I was listening to ESPN radio on one of the regular stations here, and one of the guys did the radio for ESPN for OU and Baylor, and said Baylor come off of that field not dejected, but pumped that they were going to get to see Oklahoma again. We will see these guys again. That's what he said they were saying coming up to the tunnel. That doesn't concern me, but I don't know. beating anybody twice in the same season is terribly hard to do.
Not for OU, apparently. I mean, we've done it 2 years. I mean,
we've done it 2 years in a row, but it's still difficult.
Actually, we done 1 year because we lost Texas last year, actually, but still.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I mean, I think OU was real mad too because they knew they shouldn't have been in that situation either. I mean, also it's just like I kind of trust Jalen in this situation. Like he's been in bigger games than this, so this to him's like nothing, and he knows it's online. I mean, he knows if he does this, he gets like the last lap over Bama. He'll be in the playoffs and they won't.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, Bama's way out of the
the so I mean, it's just like Baylor's a good team. Like they're like I said, if they play their best game, we play their best game. I still think we win by 14 plus. I mean,
we should. So, I mean, I agree with you. We should.
It's better. Like I think Baylor. Only thing about Baylor is that they're really well coached. They're really tough nose and everything. But last game, everything went right for them in the beginning, and they still lost.
Yeah.
Like everything, they're at home. That everything go right for them, and they still lost that game. So like, how can you like not be confident the team that all that stuff went right for them? They lost.
Yeah. Well, I think Baylor's going to be ready for them. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be similar to the last game. I think Oklahoma is going to eventually beat them up. You know what I mean?
I think it'll be close at halftime. I think OU will pull away at second half.
That's what I think.
I think we'll be up by 3 or 7 at halftime, and then we won't beat the crap out in the second half.
Yeah. And you know something? I think Riley had watching the OSU game again and looking back on it and listening to all the analysts and stuff, people that you know have played the game and look at the game. We as fans, we've talked about it before, like, oh my God, run the ball, run the ball. I think Lincoln Riley has figured out that this offense is hard-nosed enough now that he can push people around and keep his defense off the field and keep them fresh, because when that speed D is off the field and comes in fresh, gets a good 6-8 minute rest every time, they are hard to stop. And I think Lincoln Riley and being the coordinator, the head coach and the offensive coordinator and Grinch have figured out this complementary thing these last couple of games that says, hey, I'm going to keep you guys on the sidelines as much as I can, because Oklahoma, let's just look at their last.
I mean, I think I heard that the last 10 quarters they've allowed, I think, 30-something points.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, maybe less than that. So
Oklahoma has allowed 48 points against Kansas State. Next game, they allowed 41 points against Iowa State, 31 points against Baylor, 24 points against TCU, and now 16 points against Oklahoma State. They have progressively gotten better at getting the stops, beating people up, manhandling them at the point of attack.
It's not even having half those, like TCU ones, pick six. Iowa State, a couple of those were our offense, like pick sixes too. So I mean, it's just like it's not even all those stats are even defense. I mean, in Baylor game, like we put the defense in terrible spots. Baylor had the ball like inside their own 20 like twice, pretty much.
Yeah,
I don't care how good your defense is. The team's not going to score, especially at home in a game like that. It's something they've been playing good all year. It's just our offense. Our offense has been putting them in bad spots more than anything else. I think if we just play, if we don't turn the ball over, like our defense, that's what makes our defense great. Because our offense will keep those drives going.
Yeah.
That's the way we play. So I mean, like another thing about the Baylor game too. Like we covered that game if Jalen's fumble going in the end zone too. It's not like the game wasn't that close as the final score said either. Like that game. Like we beat them so bad second half. Like wasn't that close.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous second half, and last week's game was the same way. It was just ridiculous. And again, the TCU game, a pick six and then 2 bad turnovers in the fourth quarter, horrible turnovers in the fourth quarter.
I mean, Iowa State game too. Iowa State game was a blowout as well. I mean, it's just like if as long as we turn our ball over, we're going we cover every game and we're like the eye test will be on our side pretty much. Everyone says eye test. If we just don't turn the ball over, we have the eye test easy.
Yeah, before we get into the eye test, let's, I know everybody's probably already seen it out on Twitter and Facebook. The university has been sending out the social media stuff, but Oklahoma has a league high all Big 12 members on the all Big 12 teams. Creed Humphrey is the co-offensive lineman of the year. I don't think Creed Humphrey should ever be the co-anything. I don't care about the guy from West Virginia. Isn't that where he was from?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't care. Creed Humphrey is a grown-ass man. Jalen Hurts, offensive newcomer of the year. Sorry to all you freshman newcomers. That wasn't fair.
Right. That's been kind of the same thing last year was the Kyler, the newcomer too, just because.
Yeah. And LaRon Stokes was the defensive newcomer of the year. All Big 12 first team. Jalen Hurts, not Sam Eleanor. How did that happen, Caleb?
Right.
Is this the 3 straight?
Yeah. Well, obviously we won 2
Big 12
Heisman. So, I mean,
quarterbacks?
might be more than that because Baker, I think, might be 4 straight because I think Baker won.
Yeah.
Might be 5 straight, honestly, because Baker might have won it
Twice.
First 3, yeah, 3 times.
Creed Humphrey was first team offensive line. CeeDee Lamb, first team wide receiver. Kenneth Murray, first team linebacker.
I think Gallimore should have been first team.
I was fixing to say that. I think they missed it with Gallimore. Second team, Kennedy Brooks, running back. Brooks is only a sophomore.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So a lot of people think either Sermon's leaving or he's transferring, which I could see happening.
Gabe Burkick, which I disagree with. I know he didn't play the whole year, but he has outkicked everybody in the Big 12.
He's perfect.
He's perfect. So I know Dicker the kicker got it, but,
He's missed a couple of kicks,
Yeah.
so that's not fair.
Adrian Ely, offensive lineman. Neville Gallimore, defensive line. Jeremiah Hall, fullback. Parnell Motley, defensive back. And Ronnie Perkins, defensive line. That's Sooners on the All Big 12.
Who won Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year?
Hold on. Let me.
Because that should have been Kenneth Murray, honestly.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, the guy played him the first top 2.
The big defensive lineman from Baylor, James Lynch.
I guess. I mean, Baylor has good defense, too. It's just like Murray's just like, he's just been arguably one of the best linebackers in the country.
Yeah.
So, I thought he should have been the Defensive Player of the Year, but I think it's the first time we get Offensive Player of the Year in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Because Chuba got that, which I guess I'm okay with because Chuba was like their whole offense.
Yeah.
So, that's fine.
Honorable mentions were Pat Fields, sophomore defensive back. Honorable mention Big 12. CeeDee Lamb, kick returner, punt returner. Honorable mention Reeves Munshaw, our sophomore punter. Jalen Redmond, redshirt freshman defensive line.
I think if Redmond played more, he would have made it, but he didn't play the last few games.
Delarian Turner Yell, sophomore defensive back. And Deshaun White, sophomore linebacker. I think it's, these are our honorable mentions, okay? 3 of our honorable mentions were defensive players. So, and let's see. Our second team, 1, 2, 3, 4 of our second team, Big 12, are sophomores.
Is the running backs, is it 2 running backs or just 1?
I think it's 2.
I don't know how the hell Kenny Brooks isn't first team then. Who was the first team guy then? Was it Puka or something like that? Who the heck was? No one else is better than Kenny Brooks this year. The guy averaged almost 10 yards a carry.
Let me scroll down here. I got it up on the old running back, Puka Williams and Chuba Hubbard.
It had to be Puka, I guess.
Yeah.
When those 2 guys, that their whole offense was in, but still, Kenny Brooks was amazing. So, oh well.
Nick Lenners, K-State, was the fullback.
That makes sense.
Denzel Mims, the other wide receiver.
That makes sense. That's the only guy. That's the only guy that really scares me on Baylor is Mims. He's the only guy that really gets me a little worried. I think everyone else, we'll handle pretty easily. But we should.
Yeah.
I can't say I would think we should. But Mims is the guy that does scare me because he is the freak.
Yeah, but that being said, Matt Rule was also the coach of the year. I completely agree with that.
Fine with that.
Either
him or K-State's guy. I'm probably K-State guy winning it too.
Well, no,
K-State
you got to give it to Matt Rule. 2 years ago, he was 1-11 for crying out loud.
But K-State guy too is also that team was supposed to be garbage, and they were actually really good.
Yeah, but Matt Rule deserves it. He seems like a straight guy. I kind of like him. Everything I've seen about him. He wears weird clothes. I think it's funny that everybody kind of pokes fun that it looks like he's fixing to give an X-ray to somebody. And by the way, if y'all are hearing any weird noise, it sounds like somebody snoring. Rascal, the podcast bulldog, is in here in the floor,
right next to us.
Snores, and he snores very loud. So he's snoring right now. So I didn't want y'all to think we don't have him in here when Rob's in here because
he attacks him.
Yeah, him and Rob. He likes Rob.
Well, Rob's not here as often, so whenever I'm here, I'm here a lot. So he gives me like a little like 2 minutes of fury, then he just stops and like licks me and then sleeps.
Yeah. So
But Rob though, he just doesn't stop.
Let's see if we can get a little bit. Nope, I can't. My microphone won't reach that far. I was gonna
Try to get Rascal on the podcast.
Yeah, see if he would snore a little bit for everybody. But anyway, sorry about all the banging there with my microphone. My bad. But let's get into the college football playoffs. Caleb, what did you think about them? First off, Oklahoma at 6. Deserving? Should we have been at 5?
I think we should have 5, but they did it. I think just for ratings, honestly. Because if we have Utah, like there's just no point in watching unless Georgia wins. Like if we have Utah, there's no way that they're going to pass us. So like for this way, it gives them like drama for Sunday.
Right.
So I think they can say whatever they want. Eye test bull crap. They want TV ratings because if they had us about have Utah, there's no reason to watch Sunday.
So first off, the two things the one main thing we have to do is go Sooners. Okay. The second thing is go Tigers. Because if Georgia wins, this is all for naught.
That's not for nothing. Yeah.
Okay. But LSU has got to beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Go Ducks, but I really don't. If Georgia loses, I don't think it matters. Oklahoma wins, I think we jump Utah.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why. I think everybody has been talking about this. We've talked about it on the podcast before, but when Oklahoma beat them, they drop 1 spot to 14.
Mm-hmm.
Then they beat Texas, and they jump up, 5 spots, 6 spots to 9 or 8?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden...
They're 7.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden they're 7 and a contender for the playoffs. Guys, I'm just telling you, this is politics in the making, going on right in front of us because we've said it before on the podcast. The committee leaves these teams ranked at a higher rank when it doesn't affect anything in the front except for the strength of schedule for the teams that are in the front.
Right.
We've said it before. When Penn State got beat, why didn't they drop further back? Well, it's because if Ohio State beats them in their 15th, it's not a big win.
It's not that, too. It's just like Utah's. I think Utah's a good team. It's just like they played one good team this year, and they lost.
Right.
As you see, the only good team they played this year, they lost. I mean, like Washington, they struggled with. I think Oregon might beat them. I mean, as long as Utah doesn't blow them out like crazy, then we're good. If Utah blows them out crazy, that might be swinging a little bit. Like if Utah just destroys them.
Yeah.
But
I don't think they are. I mean,
they don't really destroy anyone. Like everyone says they've been dominant, but they beat teams because their defense. They have amazing defense. But it's just like I just don't like it's set up for us to get in there. One because it's just one more OU.
Yeah.
And our strength of schedule is way better than theirs. We've beaten good teams. They haven't been anyone good. Like they've only played one good team all year, and they've lost.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they held Washington State to 13 points. That's pretty hard to do, but their defense is. I've watched one game.
They're like number 3 defense in the country.
Yeah, their defense is really good. But on the other end of it, I mean, and I'm saying that I would say it even if we weren't in there. Nobody wants to see Utah in the playoffs. Nobody's going to pay to see that.
God dang it, Dad.
Yeah, I forgot to put my phone on silent.
Yeah, I always forget. You going to put it on silent now?
Yeah. Just like, when we, a couple of years ago when Baylor and TCU tied, we know that TCU might have been the best team in the country that year. And they didn't let them in the playoffs because nobody wanted to see TCU and Baylor play.
Right.
And I think that's the same scenario now. I think it's going to cause an uproar that Oklahoma's getting in because of the
I mean, you just got to look at
the decal on their helmet. Ohio State got in that year because of the decal on their helmet and got bumped.
Just look at the resume too. I mean, the resume is much better, especially if they handle Baylor, but if they win by 14 plus, like it's number 17 in the country with 1 loss.
Right.
So I mean, like you can't if they go out there and do their job. Like I don't care what people say, it's the helmet logo. Like our resume is just so much better than Utah's. And instead of the eye test, if you watch OU's game, like the eye test is over because we turn the ball over. Like if we don't turn the ball over, we pretty much kill every team. We won't have a loss if we don't turn the ball over. Like we don't lose to Kansas State. Our Achilles heel this year is turning the ball over. That's pretty much it. Besides that, we kind of dominate teams.
Yeah, and this is again. I'm a fan. I say stupid stuff. I'm not knocking our fans, the Sooner fans out there, but it does crack me up. What was it? The Baylor game. After the Baylor game, not everybody. There were a lot of people tweeting out, putting on Facebook, we don't deserve to be in the playoff. I don't want to be in the playoff. We're just going to get embarrassed again. And now everybody
wants to be in playoff.
Is complaining that
it's
Utah's
just like,
in front of us.
After we lost Kansas State, I think there's no way we'll get in. But I also didn't foresee Bama losing 2 games. I also didn't foresee Oregon losing the Arizona State. We had lots to break our way.
The big kicker is Arizona State, who we need to be thankful for. Arizona State beating Oregon is what opened Oklahoma's door.
Yeah, once that happened, I said we had a chance.
Yeah.
Once that happened, we have a chance. But Arizona State's not good at all. So that's like us losing to like West Virginia or something like that.
Because what was going to happen with that was it was going to be if Baylor would have still had just one loss going into this weekend.
We would probably been 7-8. They would probably been 5-6.
Right. And Georgia losing would have put the Pac-12, but that's not going to happen. They can't do that now.
Yeah.
So
I watch us beat the crap. I watch Utah lose Friday. We just destroy Baylor, and then Georgia wins. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen.
And what did you watch any of the show last night? I didn't get to watch any of it. I listened to it.
Listen to stuff. I don't have cable, so I only watch it.
Well, I'm sure you probably saw this stuff. What did you think about Herb Street and the guys talking about 1, 2, and 3?
They're in no matter what.
Yeah, they don't have to win this weekend. They're in no matter what. How does that sit with you? How does that sit with everybody? But how does that sit with you, Caleb?
I'm fine with that with LSU and Ohio State. I think Clemson might be the best team in the country, but if they lose as a 28-point favorite, that's not the last week. But they'll get in because their name's Clemson, and I think they might be the best team in the country. Crazy to say.
Well, see, and here's my question about that. Okay, is they talk about eye test. That's what they've all been leaning on now. Well, if you lose, how does that? Your last game of the season. How is that a good eye test? But my other thing is Oklahoma. If they don't lose to Kansas State, which this is an if, but if Oklahoma doesn't lose to Kansas State and they're undefeated, we're probably ranked ahead of Clemson, I think. Because
that's in schedule.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma would be number 3, but would they be saying that about the top 4 going into this weekend if Oklahoma was undefeated and all these teams are playing one-loss teams and says, well,
I went to that just because Georgia could throw a wrench in it, just because if we're all undefeated, if Georgia beats LSU, it might be more iffy for LSU to get in than if we're all undefeated. But
see, that's what irritates me about it is they're saying that the top 3 they can lose. So what's to keep the top 3 from just making it a freshman game?
Well, I think I think the 2-3 matchup. I think everyone wants to avoid that because I think that might be the 2 best teams playing right there. If it's Ohio State versus Clemson, I think those are the 2 best teams in the country. Personally, that's my personal opinion. I think those 2 are the 2 best teams, and then LSU wants to avoid either one of those teams too. So I think the reason to play is to avoid that matchup against either.
Well, we know that Ohio State's going to thump Wisconsin again because they thumped them pretty good the first time they played. Georgia. What I hope is that LSU beats Georgia soundly enough.
Are they the number 1 seed?
Yeah, that they bounce them back to number 1.
Yeah.
Because I'm not afraid of LSU. I've watched LSU a bunch this year. I watched them play Texas. Okay.
Watched them play Texas. They're pretty much a Big 12 team with talent on defense. They have but also what does scare me is the quarterback. They have maybe the second best receiver in the country, and that scares me because they have a quarterback that actually get the ball to them.
Yeah.
So.
But Texas played them down to the wire pretty much.
Texas didn't mishap in the red zone a couple of times. They might have won that game.
Yeah. And again, like I said, we don't root for Texas, but how much different would this look if Texas would have won that game? Because then Oklahoma would have beaten Texas and added to their resume. I mean, made the Texas game even a bigger win. That's why, we always want Texas undefeated when they come into the Cotton Bowl. We both want to be undefeated. It's better for both teams. It's better for the rivalry. It's better for the conference. But I'm not afraid of LSU. Yeah. I'm not afraid of Ohio State, but I think I'm not afraid to play anybody because I think Lincoln has proved it. Given enough time, he can scheme against anything. The last 2 years, he hasn't had a defense worth of crap. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's been the issue. Now he's got a defense. He's got this ball control offense that he's been running, this pound him even if it is Jalen Hurts running the ball, some of the ladies at work were talking about that. They're getting tired of this ball hogging. We're 11-1. Why?
It's not like he's ball hogging either.
Yeah.
He's reading the defense. The defense is making
Believe
him
me,
pick it.
if Lincoln Riley, if he was doing what Lincoln didn't want him to do, Lincoln Riley, he would be sitting on the bench.
He also won't be calling read options either. Like he's calling read options. So I mean, I don't want to play Clemson. I think all the teams I don't want to play Clemson. I think Clemson. I think they're the worst matchup worst matchup for us.
Yeah.
I think Ohio State's a close second, but then LSU. I want to play LSU. I think LSU is the best chance for us to beat. Then you get the championship game. Anything can happen. Then I'll be confident then because that's how I always. I have zero confidence till the game day. Now I get all the confidence. Then I lose it instantly. But I mean, like I said, it's just I hope we play against LSU. I hope LSU goes and wins handily. I think if they win handily, I think they'll jump Ohio State again.
Yeah. But we know that Baylor comes in at 7, Wisconsin at 8, Florida 9, Penn State 10, Auburn 11, Alabama dropped all the way to 12th.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
I guess they want to put them behind Auburn. I guess.
I guess. I mean, they're 10-2. They're better than Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They're better than Florida.
Yeah.
They're better than Penn State.
Well, then again, Florida beat Auburn, and they lost to Auburn, so you can't say they're better than Florida.
Yeah. But I just think they moved them so far back because Tua's not there. I mean,
well, that's a whole argument I had in the first place.
Yeah, if they would have lost and Tua would have same game, same style, lost the same way, basically the same outcome,
they would have dropped right behind us.
Yeah, they'd have dropped right behind Baylor.
Yeah,
maybe even right behind us. When they got beat by LSU, they dropped to 5th.
Yeah, they dropped 2 spots.
Yeah, so. Now all of a sudden they're the step. Alabama is the stepchild of the
do you think if
college football playoff
Georgia wins and we play Bama in the Sugar Bowl, think they'll still sit everyone?
I don't know.
For Jalen,
I don't know that it'll be Bama that we would play, would it?
Yeah, it would be Bama in the Sugar Bowl because it'd be Georgia and LSU in the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to play Bama personally.
I don't want to either because I think they're not going to play anyone.
Yeah.
If we don't get in the playoffs, it's like we'll be in New York State Bowl, yay, but it's just going to be against a team that doesn't want to be there. And I guess Bama, I'll be shocked if they play. If Judy plays, if half their I'll be shocked if people play that game.
And I'm going to agree with Nick Saban. What he said last year was, you guys wanted this playoff thing and these bowls, because they asked him about these kids who are not playing in the bowl games. Is what do you expect them to do?
Harbaugh said the same thing too. Harbaugh said he kind of wants them to play, but then again, the women's players got hurt when they played, so he understands why they don't. So
which is why I'm going to say it. I personally, I'm sorry. I know everybody's like 8 and 12 or 12 is too many. The FCS, the football championship, not the football bowl system series, whatever it's called. The football championship series, they have 24 teams in a playoff. Okay. You know what? I am all for that. Shorten the season, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Shorten the season by 2 games. You have 1 non-conference game or however many. Shorten the season by 2 games. Take the top 24 teams in the country at the end of the year. Let the football, playoff, and then let them play it out in December. How much fun would that be?
It'd be fun. It'd be
starting, Thanksgiving weekend would be the first round of the playoffs.
Right. It'd be fun. The argument gets that, though, just takes away the regular season. It'd be like college basketball. The regular season doesn't matter as much.
Well, no, because it would really matter because like they've been saying right now, Oklahoma, everybody's jockeying for position right now. Oklahoma wants to get in. Everybody's going to be jockeying for a position. Number 24, who's number 24 right now?
USC.
USC does not want to play, Ohio State, but they would be. But look at that matchup. Who wouldn't watch that? And then as you go down, you get better games. It's basically a non-conference schedule. Win or go home. I just the not that they don't have what I think are the best 7 teams, and I really do. I think they're probably the best 7 teams. The teams playing best right now in college football in the top 7. But this 4-team playoff is really, a guy put on Twitter today, basically it's a popularity vote is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's they're putting these teams in. No, but you're really not. It's really not a playoff. You're not. All you're doing is putting who you think the 4 best teams are and letting them play a 3-game playoff. And really, if you want to know who the best team in the country is, start it off at 25. 24. Work your way down to a champion. It wouldn't take that much. And everybody says, well, it's in the middle of finals and everything else. Well, the FCS teams do it.
I mean, the March Madness is in the middle of finals, so that doesn't matter either. My thing is just, I like 6. I think 6 is perfect for me. That's just me, though. But I get what you're saying. But
if we go, what's going to happen. We go to 6, everybody's going to be complaining about 7 and 8.
Yeah, it's always been.
We go to 8, they're going to complain about 9 and 10.
People complain about the bubble teams in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's never gonna be, people are always going to complain. I think 6 is perfect to get 5. I think 6 is perfect to get 5. Get 5 conference title winners, then 1 at large.
Yeah.
I think one team should work their way in there.
Well, I definitely think it needs to be the conference championships because I don't like what the playoffs are doing to the conference. It means a lot to the kids. If they continue to this path of winning your conference title doesn't matter. It's ruining the conference titles. You're taking away from that glory of, hey, this means the Big 12 champion means I get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Big 10 champion means I get in the playoffs. Then we don't have this argument. It's the Power 5 conferences. You win those. I don't care if it's guess what? If Wisconsin beats Ohio State, they won the conference. They knocked off the number 1 team in the country. Therefore, they get to take their spot in the playoffs. Same way with Oklahoma and Baylor. Baylor wins. Baylor gets to take Oklahoma's spot in the playoffs. That's just how it is. That's how every sport is, and that's how it should be. Make the conference championships mean something because it's and that still leaves you got to win every game because look at the Big 12. I mean, the 2 top teams are 11-1.
I mean, look at SEC. It's an undefeated team versus a 1-loss team.
Yeah.
So.
And I agree with what some people say about it is that's not fair because none of the conferences are evenly matched. And that's true too. The SEC doesn't play everybody, but once every 5 or 6 years, I think, or, they skip so many different teams and Oklahoma, has got to beat a team twice. The Big 12 has got it, which is the only conference that has to do that. That's the Big 12's fault.
Yeah. Texas' fault, actually.
And people need to remember Oklahoma. Well, the Big 12 was really, I think them and the SEC were the first ones to have the conference championship games, and we all complained about it.
Wow.
Because it did. It knocked Kansas State out of a national championship game. It knocked Texas A&M, which nobody cares about, out of a national championship game.
If you're really the best team, like you said, you should win the game.
Yeah.
So,
and then Oklahoma gets in it, loses to Kansas State. And they still get in the next week. So, which ticked off, USC. So it's a, but on the other end of it, this is what college football is all about. It's complaining and griping and look at what everybody in the country is doing right now. We're talking on social media, complaining about Utah, complaining that it's not fair that there's 2 top 4 teams and that we got to hope that 2 SEC teams in there that, we got to have LSU knock them off, or there's going to be 2 SEC teams. And I'm a proponent for that. You shouldn't have 2 of the same. That's my biggest deal. You shouldn't have 2 teams from the same conference in it.
If LSU loses, it'd be like the OU Kansas State thing. They had the toughest schedule all year. They proved themselves all year. So if they lose, it's just like, well, that just sucks. But yeah.
But again, let's go back to Baylor. None of it matters if we don't win Saturday, right?
Yeah.
All this complaining about Utah and everything. So we need to take care of business first. I think Oklahoma is going to do that. I'm with you, Caleb. I'm thinking 14 or more points. I'm thinking 38. I'm hoping 38-17, 38-21, somewhere in there.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I think CD is going to have an impact on the game. Because one of the things we didn't do a lot of in that game was that motion zone read where he fakes to CD, does the zone read, all that stuff. I think that took a little bit away. But
I mean, CD demands double teams. That's just two players that have to go out. I mean, they take out the box. They have to have someone spy CD pretty much with the corner. I mean, he's that much a game changer pretty much.
Yeah. But also, tomorrow at Louis, we're going to be doing our YouTube video. We're going to talk more about this. Get Rob's input on, on Baylor and the conference championship and the playoffs. But, really, we've got to. LSU's got to win, or
we won't know that. That'll be the last thing we know.
Yeah,
we'll know.
I
Utah.
thought theirs is at 3.
Yeah, theirs is at 3
right after ours.
Utah's is on Friday.
And Clemson's is on Saturday night.
Yeah. So, I mean, Clemson doesn't matter. I think Clemson.
Yeah. So
Utah. Oh, that's gross. Oh, the guy just tore his knee up.
Oh. We had a basketball game on in here.
That looked nasty. He got stuck by the rim, and then he landed on his knee and just definitely tore his ACL. Sometimes you get stuck by the rim. His white guy tried to dunk. He got stuck by the rim, then he tore his ACL. That looked disgusting, though.
But, if all this hoopla and everything is all for naught, we're not going to know until after the LSU game, LSU Georgia game.
Yeah, we won't know until 2:30. I mean, like I said, watch us just destroy Baylor. Utah loses, and then Georgia wins.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very possible.
Yeah.
No, I mean, everyone just assumes LSU's going to win. Like Georgia could very well win that game. Georgia's defense is really good. Like, I mean, LSU struggled against Auburn. I think Georgia's defense is better than Auburn. And I think Georgia's offense is better than Auburn's. So, I mean, LSU can very easily lose that game.
Yeah, and the issue is, Oklahoma lost to Kansas State. We don't lose that game. We're not having this conversation.
We're in no matter what.
We're in no matter what. I think Oklahoma would be in the same boat as everybody else. They would say, yeah, if these 4 teams lose, they're going to stay right where they're at. We're just going to mix the seeding.
Yeah.
Which is how it should have been. Oklahoma shouldn't have lost that game. Everybody knows it. Kansas State is not better than Oklahoma. They were better on that day and got the upper hand, and Oklahoma came roaring back and ran out of time.
Yeah.
And, the Big 12 refs had something to do with that too. But
same refs said that turnaround, that CD, not that pop Molly interception,
and
also that hold on Stevenson's touchdown run that was 20 yards behind the play or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
anyway, so Caleb, what else is going on in Caleb's world? Caleb's corner.
Nothing much really. It's working.
No movies to talk about. You just been working.
They're in a week. I don't do anything. I just pretty much just go to work, go home, go to bed, eat. That's all I do during a week. Go home, go to work, go to the gym, make dinner, go to bed. Very boring during the week because I get up at 4:40 in the morning, so don't even do much.
So you went all over the state today?
Yeah. I mean, my first stop was in Davis, and my last stop was in Thackerville. I thought I went to Atoka, so I went pretty much all the way up to Durant, then Dartmoor, then to Thackerville, back to the city.
Well, that sounds like a fun trip.
Yeah, it's a lot of driving.
Did you cross the Eisenhower Bridge?
Yeah, do it every 2 weeks.
Ugh. I hate that bridge.
Especially my truck. It's weird. I don't like driving on my truck because especially another big truck comes at me. It just gets tight in there. I mean.
But, so is that what your picking is? Oklahoma 38, 17, 21, somewhere in there?
I'll go 41, so we get a field goal.
We're going to get a field goal. Burkett's going to keep his
perfect streak going.
Perfect streak. Yeah, I can see that. But I mean, Oklahoma's got to come ready to play. We can't walk out there and make the mistakes we did.
But those will be ready to play. I think they're going to come ready to play. They're going to hit hard and everything like that, like they did the first game. It's just, I just trust in Lincoln. I trust in Jalen. I trust in this team. Pretty much, just they've been there. They know what to do. They know what's on the line. I just think they're going to go out there and show out and so improve the country. We're the 4th best team. We deserve to be in the playoffs.
I think so. Anything else you want to add, Caleb?
I guess go Tigers. I guess
go Tigers. Go Ducks.
How does he do it? Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Yeah.
No Tigers. But that's it, guys. Boomer Sooner. We'll see you next time. Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans, and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.